Welcome back to Some Offense Intended. I'm Jeremy Robinson.
I am Mike Mick.
We just watched The Phantom Menace.
Yes, in the theater.
Yeah, it was very enjoyable. I took the shortest naps that I have in the movie theater in a long time.
Yeah.
Took like a 5 or 10 minute nap in the first, I don't know, like 15 minutes.
I was really tired. I actually dozed off a little bit too, but not for long.
And then like 5 minutes, like an hour and a half in.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the pod race, but I kind of dozed off a little bit in the pod race, but I was right back in.
I'm so happy I woke up for that again. So to nutshell the notes that I have, there's news about McDonald's. I wanted to look up something about how many stores are closing a lot of restaurants.
Yeah.
I think we might have to replace my microphone cable soon because I'm hearing some weird feedback from it.
Yeah.
Or it might be because I extended it. I don't fucking know.
Could be.
Biden is pushing for felonies for something. So I won't talk about that.
All right.
And another contender for Jake Paul. And then I have a note about an airline that turned a flight around. I think it was like an hour or two after it took off because of something really fucking stupid.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So
I've got a lot of things jotted down here. Like what the original name for Return of the Jedi was going to be. I've got something about a San Diego guy involving police.
Mm-hmm.
I've got something with the Repo Man. I've got a woman getting slapped in Florida. I've got something with Putin and Cubans, and Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew.
Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew.
Yeah, there's something involving both of them.
Wow. Okay. So.
But we do have 2 episodes to do, so.
Yeah. So McDonald's is accepting EBT now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised by that. Like, I've always known, like, you know, the pizza place Papa Murphy's.
Yeah.
They've always accepted it, but they're
because it's not prepared.
Yeah, it's not cooked.
And because it's not cooked, I don't think there's tax on it because you can use EBT on things.
There's no tax on it.
Yeah. So you can only use EBT on things that are not taxed.
Yep.
Because that's for that. This says to use your EBT card at McDonald's, ensure that the state you reside in participates in the RMP. It doesn't say what that means.
Yeah.
Check the specific locations that accept EBT for hot meals. Once confirmed, you can use your EBT card like any other debit card at the designated McDonald's. That is fucking insane to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It says in Nevada, you can even do stores like 7-Eleven, fast food restaurants like Burger King, and like that's fucking crazy.
That's a huge change. I've told you about WIC. That's Women and Infant Children. I told you about when I was working at a grocery store and somebody came in and got everything in her shopping cart that was not what she was supposed to get. You're not supposed to get cigarettes. You're not supposed to get beer.
Yeah.
And she had like the most generic beer and generic cigarettes, and like it literally was just a white box with black letters that said beer or cigarettes.
Wow.
It was literally plain label.
I can't believe that they fucking got that to be able to be a thing. Because it's there to help people. McDonald's doesn't fucking help people.
No.
At all.
No, not at all.
Some of the unhealthiest food you can have in the world.
Yeah.
I would be willing to say in the world. Yeah, so like the list of stores and chain restaurants closing. Denny's is closing like 60.
Yeah.
60 some locations, but they're like, oh, we're going to open more. Like we're getting back to the typical, this buzz is distracting the shit out of me.
I heard about one restaurant. I can't remember which one it was, but I actually appreciated this. They actually closed an area because it ended up being there ended up being so much crime in and around the area that they were like, no, we're not going to have our employees go to such a dangerous spot to work.
Yeah.
So they closed it.
Since the start of 2024, here's a list of, no, I don't want you to send me notifications.
Oh, there's so many.
Cracker Barrel closed 4.
Yeah. I was looking at a list of this recently. I was reading through one, and they had some of them. They said we're closing in 2024, but I'm like, they closed in December. That would be 2023. They've already closed.
Applebee's closed 46. Like, so a lot of these, they close a lot every year and like open in other places just to move around and do whatever.
Yeah.
But like the 99-cent stores, the Dollar Tree, like those are all, most of them are closing. Almost all of them.
Yeah.
So I was hoping to find a list. Here's Denny's. Shut the doors of 57 restaurants in 2023. They plan to close 10 to 20 in 2024. Boston Market, yeah, no.
Yeah, I saw a whole list of a lot of different restaurants just closing. Some of them I didn't even know, so it didn't matter. I mean, it matters, but I mean, there's not a place I can go to. It's nowhere near me.
Yeah. Family Dollar is the largest chain on the. Holy shit! Family Dollar is planning to close at least 600 stores.
Jesus.
Nearly 1,300 stores across the U.S. are closing. At least 9 retail brands have said they're closing.
I hope somebody in the government comes out and tells me how good the economy's going now.
Yeah, fuck. Like a lot of these, a couple of them are Dollar Tree owned Family Dollar. The Dollar Tree owns. I didn't know that.
The thing I want to know is how many of them are in California that they're closing.
Probably a lot. Others, such as Walmart and TJX, have plans to expand more stores than they close. Others, like Foot Locker and Macy's, are shifting their strategies as shopping patterns change. That was one of the big things. Is a lot of these don't have an online presence at all.
Yeah.
So like they're just now catching up to like the big.
I never understand
internet shopping thing.
I never understand that, not having a.
CVS is closing 300 stores.
Jesus.
It's in the final year of its 3-year plan to shutter 900 locations. So they're doing 300 a year. Foot Locker's closing 113. Express is closing 107. That's not really surprising. Their t-shirts are like $130.
I used to go to Express when I lived in Omaha.
Rite Aid 77, Macy's 50, Foxtrot Market, never even heard of it, 33. Walmart's closing 7. TJX is closing 3. So that's TJ Maxx and Marshalls. Which, speaking of that, I stopped at Burlington. I haven't been at Burlington Coat Factory in like 4 years.
Yeah, I haven't been since I lived in Vegas.
Like I need to get a couple suits and I need new dress shoes. So I'm like, okay, let's go to Burlington. Normally they have a shitload of options.
Yeah, they usually used to.
It is Ross now. It's like you walk in it, it's Ross. Like they have the same layout, they have the same similar price tags. They no longer have like a shitload of suit designs. They no longer have dress shoes.
Yeah.
They no longer have anything. Like it is Ross and Marshalls. The exact same everything. Like the home design layout, like the home decor over here, and the toys in the back.
Were you able to find shoes anywhere?
No, they don't have.
Do they have a DSW here?
I think so.
Yeah, because that could be a good place to go. Designer Shoe Warehouse.
Yeah. So I need to go look at a couple places.
Yeah.
And like that was
Burlington
where I always fucking went.
Burlington used to be a good store.
And now it's Ross 3.0 because Marshalls is 2.0.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So yeah. I do want to mention something about we mentioned that we went and saw the Star Wars movie today. I do want to mention that the lightsaber battles in this particular trilogy so much better than the last trilogy. Like even just the lightsaber battle in the movie.
Okay, hold on. So that's not helping at all. So in the prequels, in episode 1, 2, and 3,
yeah,
the lightsaber battles are better than in
the
most recent ones,
the most
which
recent
is
trilogy.
7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I agree because I didn't enjoy 7, 8, and 9. I've blocked them from my memory. I honestly don't know much of what happens other than it was basically bullet pointed in 4, 5, and 6.
It's just like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
You keep talking about this. I have to go take fish out of the oven.
Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, when they fought Darth Maul, it was such a better battle than any of the battles in any of the more recent trilogy. And of course the Anakin and Obi-Wan fight at Mustafar, that was amazing. That was so cool. So much better than anything. I mean, they had the volcanic eruptions going on around them. I mean, everything about that was cool. Although it was interesting that Obi-Wan in the first one, he did not have the high ground, but he beat Darth Maul. And Darth Maul, the look of shock in his face when he was able to jump up over him and cut him in half. That was pretty great. And of course, his lightsaber, when that thing came out, everybody loved that. That was amazing. I mean, he had the two-sided, and when it was cut, he was still able to use, as a single. And he was good at both ways. And a lot of them don't learn two styles of, learn to battle with two types of lightsabers. They learn styles for the one that they use. And his, obviously was a two-sided one. He is putting salmon out of the oven right now. He will be back shortly. But yeah, I enjoyed going to the Star Wars movie again. It was very good.
Well, the fish isn't fucking done.
Oh.
So I have to run again in like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the first time that it's been not done. And I cooked it the same fucking time that I have the last like 3 or 4 times.
Damn.
So where are we at?
I just talked about the battles, and I was going to mention that Return of the Jedi was originally going to be
Revenge of the Jedi.
Revenge of the Jedi, and that the final battle was actually going to be on Kashyyyk originally.
Kashyyyk,
where the Wookiees
the Wookiee homeworld, yeah.
Yeah, but they had trouble having enough people to be able to play,
Wookiees
because they're so tall. So
yeah,
that's why they went with Ewoks.
Can't just give people stilts.
Well, they didn't have,
or stack
technology.
two R2D2s on top of each other.
They didn't have the technology that they have now to CGI, all the Wookiees that they would need.
Yeah.
But I thought that would have been an interesting way to go. There was even at one time talk of what about Luke could have possibly gone to the dark side, which I would thought would have been a bad idea.
Well, because it's the bad guys.
Yeah. Well, that's a matter of opinion, I guess.
Yeah.
Light, dark, they're all good choices. So I mentioned that the thing about a Florida woman getting smacked. Apparently, this guy was I think they were at a mall, and his daughter, 10-year-old daughter, goes into the women's room to use the restroom, and this woman in there smacks his daughter.
What?
Yeah.
For what?
I didn't get into details on for what, but his daughter comes out crying and said that the woman smacked him. So he smacked her.
Good. That's fucking dumb. Why?
And then the woman who got smacked, she ended up being the one getting arrested.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Leave people alone, first of all.
Yeah.
And if it was like you said, it was the dad and his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna stand outside the bathroom. You go inside, take care of business, and I'll be right here waiting for you.
Yeah.
Don't touch fucking people's kids.
Yeah, absolutely not.
That's a pretty, unless you're saving them from drowning.
Yeah.
Which in the bathroom, I would hope doesn't happen.
Yeah, I hope so.
Or a few number of rescues. Don't touch people's kids.
Yeah.
I'll grab somebody's kid to pick them up out of the road. Some bus is coming.
I mean, I could see if the kid was picking up poison and about to put it in their mouth and just smack it out of their hand.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be a case to do it, but
that's...
I would hope the kid wouldn't just be picking up poison in a public restroom.
That's weird.
Yeah. But my thought is what are the people listening to this episode? Would you hit the person who hit your kid? That's the question.
I don't have kids, and that's a yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't have kids either. That's why I'm asking the potential listeners.
I would be willing to bet a lot of the people that I know would absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely return that.
And I saw a video, looked like it was a Steelers game. I'm not sure, but that's what it looked like it was. And this guy somehow got into a fight with this. There was an argument or something. You don't see what they were fighting about or how it started. But this woman goes to smack this guy, and the guy went to hit her back, and then the guy she was with got involved and didn't want to let that happen, so he started fighting the guy. And at one point, you see this guy who intervened. He looked completely knocked out, sitting in his seat. And he got hit hard.
Wow.
Then he gets up to try to get back into the fight, and she's like, "No." She's trying to get between them to keep him from, because he just got knocked the fuck out. And then there's security, and then you hear people yelling, "Well, she smacked him first."
Wow.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I don't understand either. Like, so I was raised like, don't hit women, and I'm a firm believer of that.
Yeah.
But if you ball up your fist and hit me or hit a guy, like if you're just sitting there swinging on a guy,
Yeah.
you need hit back.
Yeah, I saw a video, another one.
Like, you're not acting like a woman.
I saw a guy pretty much knock out a woman on an airplane, argument over a cell phone because she hit him.
That's ridiculous.
And he gave her a chance to apologize before he hit her.
And I think that's a weird way of like where do you draw the line too? Because like, if you just sit there and like somebody's a chick slapping you like nonstop, like, okay, this is getting old. Like, you can only like stop. Before it's like, okay, now I'm done.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing. But still, like, if you ball up, like, I know a couple women who can hit hard and like have knocked guys out with a couple hits or one hit, one of them. And you can't defend yourself because they're of the opposite sex.
Yeah. You got to see this woman who's she's a pro wrestler. She's with TNA, is the wrestling company.
Yeah.
Total Nonstop Action, and her name is Jordan Grace. She's big. She's a strong woman. She had this huge guy just on her shoulders, like, and flipped him over, and it was crazy. I mean, she's really big. Just a powerful woman. I don't think I'd want her punching me. I'm serious. You got to see her arms.
I was waiting for the for the comment about that.
Yeah. But no, she's talented. I really I like her. I think she's good. What I've seen of her. But she had this huge guy on her shoulder. It was crazy.
As part of the wrestling hold, whatever.
Yeah. Like, she picked him up on the shoulder and she kind of threw him off. But she held him there for a little bit. Like, it wasn't just like a quick, because if it's a quick jump over, he can help.
Yeah.
Like, but no, he couldn't really help with that.
Oh, there goes the fish again, maybe.
The fish, yeah. So
I fucking hope it's done.
Oh, I hope so too. So if there's any pro wrestling fans out there, tell me if you've seen Jordan. She's huge. She's good. She's really good. She actually was at the Royal Rumble this last year, which was pretty cool to see. They brought people in from different companies instead of just having they went through the forbidden door on that one show. As for my other things on here, I do have something about a repo man in New York was actually arrested for repossessing a detective's car, saying that he did it illegally. They actually lowered his car down and put a boot on his tow truck and put him in jail. And they tried to convict him. They tried to arrest him for a felony. I mean, it's ridiculous. The mayor of New York eventually came out and said there's going to be severe consequences for these police officers. They abused their power, definitely. He's like, oh, I'll just pay you for the payments for the car. And it's like, you can't do that. The repo guy cannot take the payments. The bank has to do that. And when they're there to take it, that's not the time to be starting to offer to pay for your car. That should have been done, before they sent out the tow truck. Jeremy should be back. I hope the fish is done. There's Jeremy right now. I talked about one of my topics.
Which one?
The New York one where this repo man had tried to repossess a car. The police went over and stopped him, arrested him, lowered the car down because it happened to be a detective's car.
They should have paid the fucking bill then, shouldn't they?
Yeah, it was 3 months back, and they told him, yeah. The officer's like, listen, I'll just pay you. I'll give you the payments. And
yeah, that's not how this goes.
Yeah, repo man can't legally take that money. You have to do that with the bank to repossess.
So they arrested the repo man
and tried to charge him on felony charges.
So he's suing NYPD.
Well, they knocked it down to misdemeanor.
Oh, how kind of them.
Yes, they said that he was in possession of stolen goods.
Yeah, the cops stole it.
So
what the fuck?
So the mayor actually came out on it and said, yeah, there's going to be severe consequences for the officers who did this. Because they went over to his truck and they lowered down his car and took it off of there. They put a boot on the tow truck and arrested him on 2 felonies. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all bullshit. It's not like you get to not have to make your car payments because you're a detective for the NYPD.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nuts. But yeah, it's going to be worked out, I guess.
That's wild as fuck. Oh, don't worry. We reduced it to fucking misdemeanors for doing your job.
They said that he had to have a certain license to be able to tow. They're like, no, that's for service jobs. This was a private tow. This is not. So they don't actually have to have that license for that.
So cops that don't understand the laws that they're enforcing.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, they probably understood it, but they wanted to work it in their favor.
Well,
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just didn't understand it, but maybe it's a little of both.
I mean, that lawyers study for how long? It's like 4 or 6 years.
Oh, yeah.
Cops is like 4 months.
Yeah.
And they're just supposed to know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I respect a lot of cops. I think there's a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
But I think they should be actually trained in the laws that they're supposed to enforce.
Yeah.
And to know them.
And not try to arrest somebody for a law that they just make up.
Yes. Which is often, if you watch any videos on YouTube.
I saw one guy, he was in a park, and he had a AR pistol. He's like, no, I can carry this. It's
a pistol.
It's a pistol, and it's open. It's an open carry state.
Yeah.
I saw a guy in Arizona, though. He went to a fast food restaurant with an AR-15 on his chest and walked in, ordered his food, everything. Nobody said a word to him. He just grabbed his food, walked over to the table, was eating, had his rifle with him the whole time, and nobody batted an eye.
Yeah.
Because it's open carry.
Yep.
Most people don't really carry, AR-15s, but...
Yeah, but just because most people don't doesn't mean
you can't.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you can't, or it's not okay, or it's just all kinds of stupid shit.
I saw a car today on Facebook, I think, but it was a Umbrella Corporation car, and it was all about zombie apocalypse. It had the steel cage around it. It had 2 miniguns on top, and had a pull-out thing with guns in the back.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it was a work of art.
Wow.
Yeah, but to be able to use those miniguns, oh my god, that would be so expensive.
Yeah, it's also, well, depending on the state, I'm sure there's different rules. In Nevada, you're not allowed to have even a decommissioned, minigun mounted to a car.
Yeah. Well,
which is unfortunate.
That is unfortunate. I would love that car.
Yeah.
Imagine me driving to work with that.
So I guess you were talking about felonies. I can just segue into that.
Yeah.
So Biden is pushing for not filing taxes to be a felony charge now. So tax evasion is already a felony.
Yeah.
But that's doing with willful and intentfully doing stuff to get around paying taxes or to misfile.
Yeah.
To hide income, to do a bunch of different shit.
Yeah.
That's already a felony. He wants to make it a felony to not file taxes.
See, that's stupid. That's a bad idea. Horrible, horrible idea.
which like you're already penalized massively for not filing taxes.
Yeah.
Like monetarily, you're penalized a lot. So
See,
what
but,
is
but if you convict people and lock them up on a felony charge for not doing it, then they're not going to have employment to be able to pay those back tax.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter because also when in most states, when you're a felon, you can't vote.
Yeah.
So it might just be a trying to take out fucking more voters.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird shit going on. I don't know.
A lot of weird shit.
A lot.
Yeah.
But I don't
It seems
understand.
like they're not doing.
So
they're doing what they want to do, and they're not doing what the people want them to do.
A short background for people that don't know or might not know anything about it is we used to not have taxes in 1774 or whatever. They being England, tried to put a 2% tax on goods and services and stuff in America, which is why everything happened in 1776 is when we had our independence. And now we're up to like 40 fucking percent tax in some areas. And that's actually what they're proposing for next year is like hiking taxes, like 44%. So then what happened was in World War II, during World War II, they put in a tax of the American people to pay for the war. And it was a temporary tax that was only supposed to ever only help fund World War II. And then once it was done, the tax was supposed to go away. But they put in, I think it was the 16th Amendment, that basically held that in place as a temporary permanent. And then it's just never gone away since then.
Yeah. And no, it won't.
So like there's technically no laws saying you're required to pay taxes, but there's a lot of guidelines and rules saying what happens if you don't.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of people that used to work for the IRS, like super high up, that once they found several things out, they quit the IRS and stopped paying taxes. But I don't know what those fucking things are. I don't know where to find them. I don't know how to battle it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do whatever. So I am a legal tax paying citizen.
We do know somebody who knows tax code really well. He reads it.
Yeah, but I mean there's knows tax code pretty well for filing, and there's knows tax code pretty well for
reads the whole thing. That's what he enjoys reading.
I don't know if you know how long the tax code is.
I do know how long it is, and he has talked to me about it.
There's like 3 different ones. Like one is like 800 pages, and then one is like 20,000 pages.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They do that just to make it so you would not read it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's filibustering in a document.
And it's not like an audio book is going to be good because nobody wants to fucking listen to that.
No.
It would be horrible.
You'd have to get like between 30 and 50 different people to read like 30 minutes at a time because they would want to not continue reading it.
But even then, my mind would wander. I would.
Yeah. So in the case of, no, that would be awful.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that.
Fucking year-long audiobook of tax code.
Yeah.
That would be horrendous.
Yes, it would. And by the time you finished it, the new codes would be out.
Yeah, before you finished it.
Before you finished it, yeah.
For sure before you finished it. I think it should go to a very short, potentially 1-page fucking document.
Yeah.
Where corporations, if they make money in the States, have to pay a tax of whatever amount is feasible, fair.
What they could do is have 2 pages. They could have one for corporations
and one for people. But churches are corporations.
Yeah.
Because that's the separation of church and state is great. Tax them. They're businesses. They're not fucking like there's a few that are like, oh, like super helpful nonprofit, whatever.
I say churches are
businesses.
Until one day they're like, some offense intended podcast, you can get a religious exemption. Then I'll be all for it.
Yeah, I don't. But yeah, that would fix a lot of stuff. Having a super short tax code, but then everybody's like, oh well, they don't pay their fair share. If I pay 10%, like let's call it 15%. Say I make 100,000 a year and I pay 15%, so
Yeah,
I pay
you're tipping the
$15,000.
government.
So if somebody makes $10,000 a year, they pay what 150. They're like, well, he still has $85,000. I only have like 9,000, whatever. I'm like, but we both paid 15%.
Yeah.
Like if it's a flat, like nobody gets breaks. If it's a flat this, everybody's paying their fair share. Like if somebody makes $1 million a year, they're paying $150,000, which is more than this person's making in the whole
Well, it's
year.
like you can say, yeah,
But
I don't have as much left over as you do, but also you haven't just paid as much either.
no, exactly. But it's hard. It's hard for a lot of people to understand oh, we paid our fair share. They did because they paid way fucking more than you did. And like now this will be a fucking forever conversation.
Yeah, we don't need
we'll have to, yeah. So, yeah, if you can do something about it, fix the tax code. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Some Offense Intended, Twitter and TikTok at Some Offense Pod, and we will talk to you next time.
Yes.
You look like you want to say something.
Nope.
Goodbye.